Hello and welcome to another video of the Battle of Nation. We are currently in round 4 and I play myself my Night's Watch Alliance deck against my Chinese opponent who's playing Lannister Kingdom of Shadows. And I'm not alone. Nico is here with me to comment on the game. Hello, Nico.
Hey everyone, thanks David for having me.
So you asked me for a second what were my thoughts coming into this game, and probably I will tell you about it before I start and run the video. So this was, I think, their second pick, and thought, oh, Lenny Shadows, this is an auto loss for me. My team has to win for me, and then today I checked his plot deck, I think 30 minutes before the game, and then I noticed, oh, he doesn't have any plots that hurt me really hard. Like he's playing a very uh, constructive plot line. No first, no winter. I think one reset, two resets, but I only care about one. So I thought, okay, maybe I can do it, but I didn't had any practice games, so normally I practice quite a lot, but this time it was like an auto loss in my head, so I didn't practice at all. And yeah, i was I wasn't happy. So I'll start the video
All
in
right.
3, 2, 1, go. And we see my first hand is a lot of cards with economy. So I'll take a mulligan right away.
So for you, that much econ is kind of too much.
Now
You don't really
I
want it.
really want to have economy, but there was like a bad setup, and this is my mulligan hand, and you can see, I think I will do a 6 card setup here.
That's pretty nice.
I play Sail in Shadows, every character on the board, and I'll play the Beguiled on my Steward just to like uh, draw one more card.
And you don't give him the gold for cohort, and you can change it with a cohort trigger.
Yes, I can change it into like my only attachment that I can change to is the 0 cost get a power icon. A
Yeah.
noble lineage is the name, and I need this attachment in my deck because I'm quite rare in power icons. Like this is one of the problems in my deck. And on the other hand, like the Beguiled is terminal, so if a reset will happen, it just goes into the discard pile.
Yeah. And you have only one beguiled.
I think I have at least 2 or 3 Beguiled, but
Ah,
I
okay. So you could change one for another, or is that
no,
actually
no, no.
out
You,
of
you
the
cannot you cannot
cohort?
change. Yes,
Ah, okay.
you have to change into unexpected into noble lineage and then back into Beguiled.
Gotcha. I've never played core myself yet, so I'm not super strong on the specifics of the agenda.
Okay, here my thought was he has trading. I'll give him 3 gold. I can reset if I want to. Like I have 2 resets if he's going too big, and I will delay his at the gates. And if I draw my Gulltown until then his at the gates will be useless. So I'm okay with giving him +3 gold, especially after this setup. So I was not concerned. It's basically one more card in shadows or something on the board, and I have at least for now answers to the board state.
Yeah, and at some point, he has already a lot of gold. At some point, three more is doesn't hurt as much because it kind of only leads to overextending in a way.
Yeah, depending which card you have. At the time he has bowls, he can then
Yeah,
like
okay.
not trigger bowls for gold, and he can trigger it for card draw. Um, then it is bad for me, but as of right now, it's okay.
Is that your audio that we're hearing
That
from
mm,
from the game? That would be awesome.
I just muted the audio.
Oh, okay.
I
So I
hope,
think it will
hopefully,
work.
I muted the audio.
I hear someone breathing. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
you,
that
but it does sound.
that yeah, that might be me.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we see men and more.
I just muted the like the audio file, so I apologize if you heard me breathing so far. Yes, Man and More. First decision point in the game. I expected like the problem card for him are not, for me are my Night Marauders. I have to expect he has Night Marauders. If I start discarding cards, I would discard at least like two cost or one cost cards, and he has a good chance to empty my hand. So my first decision point was uh, kill kill the dude and don't discard cards. So if he has Night Marauders, uh, they are not as good as they could be, and I don't
Yeah,
fall behind too hard.
yeah, they can be a real killer. And I mean, your deck is has a crazy draw engine, but you need to have your cards together to kind of have that going. And so far,
Yeah,
uh,
unlucky in this game, the crazy draw engine didn't happen.
oh, okay, yeah,
I can tell you this. So I decided to go for Yoren because my thought was, okay, I have no wall, and even if I have the wall, he runs two times Pyromancer's Cache. So basically, my wall plan won't work. Yes, it's like a 4 gold draw one card. So I thought. And then I decided, okay, if I want to play this game, I can play the aggressive version. The aggressive version is I use KoS to swap out like the negative attachments, so I can win each challenge I want to win, and hopefully unopposed. It's a little bit harder against the shadow deck, but it still can work if he gets like some kind of restricted on the money thing. So that's the reason I played turn one Yoren. Normally I play Yoren after Valador Harris, and it's only a one-off, so I lose him. No big deal. Like it's not a key element of my game. This turn I thought, okay, I'll play it. He will have one less character. If he wants to go military, I can kill old Tatasale, and we're all good with it.
but now you took military away from him actually, or you're planning to switch it out. Uh,
My plan is to switch it out. Either that
yeah,
I get a Cage of Raven, or just to limit him in doing challenges.
yeah, yeah.
If I get a Cage of Raven, I can then put in the Craven, or if I draw some economy, I can cheat an economy because I in taxation I will draw cards, and then I can and in draw phase as well. So then I can put in economy pre-marshalling phase, and I start the round with +1 economy.
Yeah, that's a really strong feature of Cage of Ravens.
Yes, it's I think
Um,
underrated, but on the other hand, the Lannister deck has a kind of advantage here as well. I played in testing. I think I played this game. Like his deck against I think Lucas, because he was playing against political disaster, and I used Tyrion to put my Rose Roads into shadows, so that a political disaster isn't as big, and then every round in the draw phase or in the plot phase after he doesn't play after he didn't play political disaster, I swap the Rose Roads in again.
Yeah, nice play for sure. So, just out of interest, and for the other viewers probably too, did you have anything in your deck in terms of location control if he brings out bowels, or would that just be something you would have to accept that he's gonna draw cards and get econ whenever he wants, basically?
I have one Seized by the Guard, and I can play Seized by the Guard, but the problem is I need a lot of gold, like to do this, and his answer could be that he uses Tyrion to put bowls back into shadows, and then he can he can just replay it from the shadows.
Hmm.
Basically, Tyrion has to be milked to be controlled here.
Yeah.
First round is actually pretty decent for me. He uses the first event that returns Mandan back to his hand. The terminal the terminal attachment goes to the discard pile, and I think I have at this point two zero cost attachments in the discard pile, so I don't have to worry. And I didn't know what he has here outside, and here I found what's it called? Secret Pact, one of the best cards in these kinds of decks. Secret Pact is in so many matchups like a very important card for me. And
Yeah, super strong
yeah,
card.
I was quite surprised about the early Vala here, and luckily I had Master Eamon and could save um, Three Finger Hop, and I don't care about the other cards. The only downside is I don't have a steward on the board that can have the Cage of Raven because Hop has no attachments.
Yeah, that's something you have to play around with Cage of Ravens. A bunch of cards actually have no attachments, so only a couple stewards can take.
Yeah, I decided here for Cage of Raven because I have a lot of attachments and I have Bow and Marsh who can bear the Cage of Raven, and I have the money to play it. I didn't thought that I have like a good character base to defend the wall if I go for the wall now. And I think he plays a lot of economy.
Yeah, I tested this matchup a couple of times with our Tyrell deck, and yeah, lots of economy, especially with bowels. It gets pretty silly.
So I trigger the Archivist for either one gold and that the Nighttime Marauder um, cannot discard any cards. And I put the Cage of Raven on Bowen. And I wasn't too afraid at this point.
Yeah, with the Archivist, giving him back his clever feint is hurts a little bit. Of course, it's more important for you to keep your discard pile clean. and there come the Raiders, Marauders, pardon.
Yes, and he
Um,
doesn't get
yeah,
any hand knowledge right now.
yeah, yeah. Also, really key. Sometimes underrated, I think.
So I
How
decided
important it is.
I decided against putting Craven on it because he has zero claim, and I think the Craven is better in a turn where he has claim, so that I don't have to worry. I'll defend because he runs Poison Coin, I think, and he brings another character out of Shadows to get the unopposed challenge, and he actually has a Poison Coin. That hurt me a little bit. I was a little bit concerned, but I thought it's some character will die, and I rather have Hop than Hop and John alive than Bowen. And I don't care for the power challenge. I thought at that point, if he has another poison coin in the shadows, I'll lose the game. Like there's no point I can recover from it. If he doesn't have a poison coin, I can do challenges and like advance in power.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to take risks, right?
So here I'll try to draw with the steward because he has insight. And I wanted to know if I draw into some kind of attachment that would help me further, or if I draw into like a reducer for the watch, uh, like the reducer 1 gold that I can put in with Cage of Raven. I didn't draw it, but I drew an economy. And here I tried to bait him into claiming the Nighttime Marauders because, as said earlier, they were a problem card in this match for me, and I thought, okay, if I play the minus military icon on him, he might claim them, and then they are one problem less, and he cannot put them into shadows with Tyrion or Clever Fiend, and he didn't do it, which I think is the right decision. So very good like decision making from my opponent here.
Yeah, I think you can say overall. I mean, I haven't seen all of the matches, but most, and really good play by all our friends from the Chinese team.
What I saw so far, yes. I think like there are some discussion points in this matchup, but we will come to that later.
And while we're chatting away, you're making pretty good progress here. I mean, seven
Yes,
two for
7,
your deck is quite nice.
it is indeed, yes. I cannot complain. And here goes the Shadow Priestess.
Excuse me, did the noble lineage just go to the discard pile?
Yes, I swapped it out for another
Ah, okay.
Beguiled and
Okay.
put it on the Night Marauders.
Okay,
So
sorry. I thought when Bowen died, it went to the discard pile. That would have been a bug, obviously, but I was just I didn't pay attention.
so in here I got lucky because I redrew one steward to come be a Cage of Raven. And my opponent saw his bowls, and from that time I was thinking, can I do I have the option to put Seized on it? And it
So,
was
as an experienced control player, what's your thinking here? Let's say this turn, let's say you can keep these 2 gold and you'd be able to seize it for 2 turns then. Oh, 3 turns, including the current turn. Is that something you would do, or would you prefer to wait when you have more gold to bestow on it?
I think like 2 gold on it is the right amount because, as I said, Tyrion can put it back into shadows,
Yeah.
and here the plan goes down the river because he has Tyrion. He can bring it out, into shadows, and then seas would fall off.
Yeah, Tyrion really does a lot of work for this deck.
Yes.
I mean, Cersei is also really, really tough to see as an opponent of this kind of deck, but those two are kind of the primary targets of, if you have a reset, Valar, M, to try to catch those.
So I went for the wall play because I had basically not much other good options to play here. And here I thought I could grab Craven or could get the cheaper version and milking him of one of his icons. The problem is I cannot use Scorching Desert so far because if I remember correctly, there's still no 1 gold attachment in the discard pile. I tried to play it around it, um, and so I had to steal both of his icons because I could steal only one, play Scorching Desert, and then discard it, and he uses up 1 challenge. But then Nighthome's Marauder are enabled, and I would lose like Craven and what's the military icon called?
Imprisoned, I think.
Imprisoned. Imprisoned.
And so is your game plan for this round basically to um, uh, grab milk after you
Yes.
win a challenge? Yeah.
Yes. And I'm 7 powers ahead. I can maybe win some challenges, but I was confident that I can trigger the wall, and I thought he was digging for cards and probably searching for Pyromancer's cache. But I thought maybe I can like do some things here, win unopposed challenges, and go further ahead in power. I didn't expect this challenge. I didn't expect this challenge to resolve. I thought he would bounce me. I was kind of surprised about the about this play, or at least he would kneel my character because he discarded Shadow Priestess earlier, and I thought, okay, he has another one.
Well, maybe he didn't have the econ to play it into shadows. The Marauders went back to shadows, right?
I
I mean, he does have a lot of econ on the board.
yeah, like this not super straight thought through all the things because I still was playing a game, but that was like my thought in that second. And I do
Yeah,
what
yeah,
and I
absolutely.
do what my game does. I'll steal his icons and then go for answers. I was quite surprised here that he drew cards. That was another hint for me that he's digging for answers instead of gaining a gold and maybe play his last card he has in shadows. And I have like a problematic situation here. If he plays either Clever Fiend or the Iron Bank will have his due, like all my attachments are gone, and I cannot, and I then cannot like reshuffle them here uh, and do other things. And I was surprised to see Robert Strong gone because like he can kill a defender. I wasn't unhappy that he
Yeah,
got discarded.
never a bad hit. Oh no, he discarded him just for Goldmine. Okay,
Yes,
okay. So here's what you're afraid about, afraid of.
yes, kind of. And I know he has Catspaw, some at this state of his economy, some very annoying card for me
Yeah,
because I run so many weenies. But I wasn't unhappy that I get Tetrasail back to my hand because I can remarshal him for 3 and I have another tutor effect. And after round 3, 11 to 2, I thought even if he finds Pyromancer's Cache, I might like try to close out the game.
yeah. It's definitely. I mean, yeah. This is how you want to the, the match to go against any shadows or any shadow deck, basically
Yes,
being in that position. But it's definitely not over um, because bowels can go crazy and a lot of things can happen. But
yes.
this is definitely a good, you know,
Mhm.
you would have definitely taken this, um, you know, state of the game uh, if someone would have offered it you after 3 rounds, up 11-2.
Yes.
Pretty good board. You have good econ, good hand.
Yeah. Um, I one mistake I probably made in the last turn is that I swapped my cage for a milk, and I rather would have kept the cage because here I get second player, I get first player, and then I don't have the option of caging in a tainted or craven to limit his ability to win the intrigue challenge.
Yeah, and I think just last round or the rounds so far have really been a showcase to the strength of your deck, which is, not only icon control attachments, but being able to jump them in via Cage of Ravens is a real boost in versatility, I think, for you
Yeah,
for your deck.
it basically nullifies the go first attempt to get not be targeted by the attachment. Like I have my bad matchup against like Greyjoy armies or against armies in general with the no attachments.
Yeah.
But
Night's Watch,
Night's Watch
Rangers.
Night's Watch Rangers could be a problem, but there are other decks. I think I'll take most of the Stark matchups, like Grinning. I'm not so afraid against Stark. Um, so, and I'm not afraid against some like normal rush decks that try to make all the challenges. I think I have good answers against them. And um, like I can play defense, but I also can play offense. I decided to get rid of um, the two cost attachment because I cannot bring it in, and I want my marriage pact to be online, not marriage pact, secret pact that I can ambush for 3. I thought probably you will bring Catspaw back into shadows, but I don't have any other possibility to play these out because all the negative Mattel attachments are only opponent's character only, and unless beguiled, I cannot put them on my own characters.
And we see him with a healthy 15 gold. Always great to see an opponent playing Lanny Shadows. Having 15 gold warms your heart.
Yeah, but like I'm not so bad on the gold either, right? I'll have
Yeah.
11 gold. It's not super one-sided here. Yeah, and if I would have Cage of Raven here, I could just bring a Tainted back and then still have Secret Pact as ambush ability. But I was also afraid about the Nighttime Marauders. So for me, it was like I have to do my first action is ambush the Secret Pact for the case if he has another Nighttime Marauder card. And I think I might check my discard pile to see if I have any one cost attachment there. I know I have the milk in the discard pile, so probably all these attachments are gone. And this is like the downside of not having like the cage. I could have at least saved 1 or 2 attachments. And I wasn't sure if I can win in Intrigue because he has 7 gold open and either win in defense or in offense. And I must overcommit to win.
Yeah, so that's a really good hit for your opponent. Craven, Condemned, Tainted, and Imprisoned.
Yes. It
That's what you want to see as playing Nighttime Marauders out of Shadows.
Yes, and I think here my opponent started to making some mistakes because we know he has Catspaw in Shadows, And if he brings Catspaw out to get rid of Hop, I'm basically out of the game. And I was quite happy that he didn't trigger Catspaw here, because at some point he could have. We know that I cannot play this attachment here, and he could have triggered Catspaw on Hop and then Nighttime Marauders into Hop instead of into the attachments, and then try to go first next round. And here I just drew 2 attachments back.
Yeah, I mean those 2 cards extra are really really big.
Yeah, they are actually big for me.
But as we were talking, yeah, you're up 13-2, so definitely the opponent must be quite worried.
Yes, and I haven't found my draw engine, so I was playing more or less a fair game with Hop. May he fare as may if he's like a fair card, but I think the redesigned card is okayish.
Yeah, I think with the opponent having vowels on the board, there's no reason for complaining. In terms of draw, that
Yes.
sounds like a fair situation.
So my thought process here is I want to attack and try to force him into defending challenges, because then he's not using all his resources on the offense. And I think this is the last turn already. And there are some mistakes made by my opponent, I think, here. But first of all, he has some weird Iron Throne problems. We checked it out in the log. Not in the log, like we rewatched the video already, because uh, there was an error on the side. I think he marshaled cards into shadows and lost gold, but not marshaling the cards into shadows, something like that. And he changed it per hand, um, but I think at some point he the program has an error here. Yeah, this one where you see like he's losing 2 gold, but he has only 1 hand card and he's marshaling like with 1 hand card 2 cards into shadows, and this cannot be right.
Yeah, not something you want to see in a competitive game, but
No, no, no.
you
I,
know,
I,
it
no, no, no.
happens.
I don't
Happens.
think. Yeah, but it's not his fault. I think it was the
No, no, no,
program.
no. I'm
Uh,
saying, you know, it's a bug. I mean,
yeah.
I think it just happens. It's a great program for free, so I'm super impressed by you know, by the Iron Throne, and it's really great that it's there. But sometimes it happens. You know, it's unfortunate that it happens in a competitive game. But you guys played around it. I think
Yes.
it's all good. It's just something, yeah, you know, obviously you're on edge and then something like this happens and you have to kind of think, well, okay, is this now all correct? Gold,
Yeah. The
everything.
the downside is with the shadows card, and that you cannot see which shadow card it is. Like they're like um there is the possibility that somebody could be cheating, but I wasn't thinking. Like I was so on the edge in this game, I didn't have the thought, and I wouldn't think this about my opponent.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely not. But it's just, sometimes it can also happen that both you try to make things right, reconstruct what should have happened, and then you both make a mistake.
Yes.
It can just happen. I mean, of course, then that's what happened, and it's also fine. It's just, you know,
Yeah, we
sometimes there are errors, but
yeah. And I was really happy to see the Night of Flowers here as the not also as the game goes on, because he's defending, and this is one trigger less, like one action less for him, and he doesn't win by defending, and he's like a very costly card with a five gold,
yeah.
and he just says, okay, I can defend. um, and here goes Rose Road into Shadows by Tyrion.
I was happy to see the Night of Flowers as something that you don't hear often. The Shadows deck. It's a very strong card, and
It's
usually bad to see him.
Yes, but I still have my Valador Harris, and then he has to go Knight of Flowers or Tyrion,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I bet he will take Tyrion.
Yeah.
And
No, I
here,
absolutely agree. It's just interesting that it's
yeah,
rare that you feel one feels like way.
yeah, and I think here's the game mistake. He catspaws my Maester, but he has like two power icons open. I can only Shadow City Bastards the um, the Shadow Priestess, but then it will be unopposed power challenge. I cannot do anything about it. And he decided to go for Mullen. Okay, on the other hand, I could Mullen the Knight of Flowers and then use the Shadow City Bastard, but I think it doesn't matter here.
Yeah, and he had four power icons, right? Tyrion, the Marauders,
Yeah,
Knight
but
of Flowers.
Tyrion cannot attack. He is the Pact.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, true.
I don't trigger the Scorching Desert because it's the first challenge, and I'll play the Natural Plot. I think probably I should have triggered it here, because then this card would have gone back into hand, and it would be more costly for him to put it into Shadows, because he can use Tyrion now to put it into Shadows and gaining like and saving like 2 gold here. So like a tempo misplay on my side,
And you have two Scorching.
and I have 2 Scorching Desert. Yes. I decided to keep the Shadow City Bastard if we play another round and if I need him there. And now I know I can win the vault because he doesn't have any options to get rid of my power icon, and I can like win the wall. And then I was counting, how can I win dominance? And I probably wanted to keep Master Mana. And here my thought process, I think my mouse could be hovering over his characters, because here in my head I was counting strength. I have 7 gold open. I have 11 strength with my characters. It's strength 4. He has 0 gold open, but has Tyrion and 2, which is 5, and 2 characters with 3. So we dominance is tie, and we would play another round, which would be bad for me.
So you kill the steward, get back the blade,
Yes,
discard the blade.
yes. I was very proud of me noticing that move
Yeah,
because
I think your opponent at that point thinks like, shit, that I didn't see that coming. I mean, I wouldn't have seen that coming. I think.
yeah, it's such a minor fine line, and like it's not very intuitive to discard like a card for winning dominance.
Yeah. So really interesting. I think that the Old Forest Hunter, I think it's called, right? Did
Yes,
two really important, like it, that play and discarding the Archivist early on to shuffle your discard pile back into your deck was
yes.
also a
Of
pretty
this,
key play.
like the old Forest Hunter, they were like the match-winning cards. The first one who has to die for Man and Moor, and the second one that enabled me basically to win this match, which was, as we said before, a Chinese pick. So we or I myself didn't expect to win this game, and I was very happy. Um, I think my opponent had like he had like all the economy, but maybe he missed Pyromancer's Cache or um, hmm, I don't know. I think he was like forced since I control Tyrion or try to control Tyrion here. Like he was forced to play a little bit slower than this deck actually could have played, and I think in the long run he would have won against me.
Yeah, I mean, he saw Bowles fairly late, which I think helped. And he was, at that point, he was already like kind of fairly far behind. So we kind of had to invest a lot of resources into catching up and making sure that you don't run away with it. And, he couldn't, I guess, play his game as much as Shadow decks like to do,
Yeah,
would, would be my first impression here.
yeah, that might be true. Yeah. So thank you for watching and listening to this video. Nico, thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks. Great game. Congrats to you. Congrats to our Chinese friend for a really nice match.
yeah, I think he made a misplay like in the end, but as we saw the video, I was wrong. He didn't misplay it here. So I'll take that bet and I apologize because Malin could have chosen the Knight of Flowers not to attack in the power challenge, and I could have sacked the Shadow City Bastard into 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 the Shadow Priestess, so he cannot win the power challenge. Um, I think maybe there are some super fine lines like discarding a Shadow Priestess earlier um, that would have been helpful later. But on the other hand, I got rid of my Cage of Raven and I didn't redo it. So I think like there are there are some super fine lines like from the perfect game if it exists, and I think like both players played really like really well. I think it was one of my uh, like better games in terms of mistakes. And I think my
Yeah,
opponent played as well really, really good.
yeah, really cool, and we can look forward, all of us, to really close, interesting matches tomorrow to close out this round and determine the king of Swiss.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for watching. And then we see us in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.